The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. We are having a bit of technical difficulty today. So I am Chip, and
I am CJ.
And CJ may not be on camera at this point in time, but he will get there. We are having difficulties, but like through rain, shine, sleet, and snow, Spindle City Straight Talk will come to you. So
one way or another, we get the show
one way
out
or
there.
another, we will get this out, and because it is a big Monday, a lot of doings.
Yes.
On Monday today. With this week, we have some big news. The weekend flush covered a few of things, and we have both of those issues that we have to kind of talk about. And I guess the first issue is all the big rumors that are abounding.
And I think the rumors are coming to an end.
Yes, they are.
I think they're coming to an end. According to sources on the 6th floor, John Perry allegedly is being terminated today. According to our sources, the mayor was a little upset on Friday because under Mass law, they have to pay the salaries, vacation, sick time, all at the time of termination. So they have to have that check. And somehow or another, the check was not cut on Friday. So they couldn't terminate John on Friday. I guess they now have the check, or they're getting the check, and they're going to be terminating him shortly. This is not a big secret. The big secret is what is in that report. They did an investigative report like they did with Matt Malone, and I think they're going to do the same thing with this report that they did with the Malone report. We're not going to be able to get it, which I think is wrong. I think that we should know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the other question is, if this report is so scathing, is the city going to go after criminal charges if those are appropriate? The other issue is, and this is an allegation again, accordingly, the city does not want to buy out John Perry's contract. This is going to be a very interesting
This is going to be a
scenario.
very contentious thing.
Right.
So, but look, like you said, the rumors are abound. Let's make this perfectly clear. Unfortunately, we can't see ourselves today, and we don't know exactly what's going on. And I'm sure we'll, Steve over there will edit this thing, and then you might not even know it. But the reality is, let's up front say, look, right now these things are all allegations. John Perry has the right to due process under the law, but we've had literally hundreds of phone calls on these things with all kinds of allegations and scenarios.
And I received a phone call this morning, which was very clear that this meeting was happening today, and the check has been cut.
Yeah, we've heard allegations that the mayor was not happy because it didn't get cut Friday, and he said, I don't care if you have to handwrite it on Monday. I want it done. I want them gone. There are allegations that this will be turned over to the DA for criminal prosecution. But the common thread here is, again, the public will be kept in the dark by our mayor. The fact is, like the Malone report, nothing. We never saw it, still haven't seen it, except that redacted disaster that a few people got. We're being kept in the dark. And it segues us into another part of this scenario. As we said, these are all allegations and what ifs. What if John Perry does get terminated? What happens to him? But there's a backstory to this. The backstory is that I have been told that his replacement has already been named, somebody named Charlie.
Charlie is filling in.
Yeah, he's filling in for him.
Now.
Whether that position remains or not is another question, because
Correct.
the mayor has now, again, done things ass backwards. No, it wasn't put out for bids. We're hearing people complaining that there are people in DCM who are more qualified than this individual from New Bedford. I have been told, as I said, these are just information we got. It is alleged that this individual was in City Hall already talking about the job he's going to get,
Yes.
coming from New Bedford. This man does not, according to what I was told, does not have a master's. We have someone in DCM who has a master's degree, who has been in DCM for a very long period of time, knows the issues, knows the problems, and could just seamlessly take over. Yet the mayor is meeting behind closed doors, did not put it up for bid, according to what I've been told. Did not just bring another one. The Pope of patronage strikes again. He's just going to slide somebody over. He used to work in Fall River, went to New Bedford. Now they slide back in, and he's going to slide this guy in, give him a pay raise, and put him to work with some ridiculous job that he creates, that he's going to be overseeing all these other departments that he knows nothing about.
Director of City Operations.
Yeah, and you know, nice title. Same basic premise as you want to give your cousin who's the janitor a big pay raise. You reclassify him as a sanitary engineer.
Yep.
And then you give him a big pay raise.
That's it.
He's still a janitor. Mm-hmm. This guy is not going to run any other department. There are department heads that run those departments. And what are they going to do? They're going to go tell him what they're going to do, and he's going to nod his head because he knows nothing about those departments. So again, spend more money while people can't keep up with their rents, can't keep up with their mortgages, and just keep incurring debt. Because remember what he whispered when he talked about this debt override. You know, only if we don't incur further debt.
Right.
And now he's on a crusade to create as much debt as he can.
Well, I received a phone call, well, I shouldn't say a phone call, a Facebook Messenger voice message. I played it in the control room. Our producer was listening to it with me. Accordingly, there's a school committee meeting tonight. And here we go again with more of what's going on. The mayor wants to transfer ESSER money, that's COVID money, from the school department to the city department to pay for the transportation. Now, this came up a few weeks ago, if you remember, and Kevin Aguirre was adamantly against it.
He went ballistic.
He went ballistic on it. And the mayor still intends on doing it. And of course, you know, he's got his lackeys like Shelley Pereira and Mimi Larrabee who will vote for it. Okay, I'm not sure what Paul Hart will do. I know Kevin will probably vote against it. And if Bob Bailey shows up, same thing with Shelley Pereira, if she shows up, you know, it'll be interesting to see how those votes go. Because so far, they've only proved to be lackeys to the mayor. And there are citizens which are going to be sending letters in or showing up to speak about it to find out what's the big problem here. The school committee already said no, so it's no.
Yeah, but you can't say no.
You can't say no to Paul.
No to the superintendent of Fall River.
I know.
You see, he could never make principal. Mm-hmm. He could never be the superintendent of schools, but he saw the power Malone wielded, and he's making the same mistake that Bob Carrere did when he became mayor. He thought he was Speaker of the House.
Right. And
he could do just anything he wanted. And he has so far basically gotten away with circumventing everything.
Exactly.
You know, the opera money, why that weak-kneed city council that we have did not take him to court on the opera money is beyond me. They are the legislative body.
That's right.
Now that the school department has gone on record to say, well, we vote on how we use the opera money, he wants to take it away from them and send it over to the city where he controls everything.
That's right.
So, again, this guy, he pretends, well, let's everybody get along. As long as I can do whatever the hell I want, and that's exactly what he does. He does whatever he wants. We're going to get some guy from New Bedford. We don't even, nobody, it's not going to be vetted. Nobody knows what he's a secret meeting, a meeting in City Hall. He goes wandering in. Everything's been promised, prearranged before there's even a vacancy, before even that reorganization goes before the city council.
The position has come before the city council. It's been sent down to ordinance. It hasn't been created yet.
It hasn't been created.
It hasn't been created
The
yet.
bottom line is it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
It's not created. And nobody even saw, I don't know about the council, but I can tell you one thing. I saw the reorganization that Carlton Viveris did. He reorganized everything in the city with the Coopers and Libran study, but there was a long study that took months. That process took almost a year. This thing took like almost a week.
Right. Right.
You know, the Pope of Patronage wants it, so let it be written, so let it be done.
The Ten Commandments.
That's right.
I love that
You're
phrase.
Brenner.
I love that phrase. That was a great
so
phrase.
let it be written. Let the name of any other mayor be stricken from everything in Egypt. Oh,
Yep.
we're off on
From
a
every
tangent.
obelisk.
That's it. Every obelisk in Egypt and all the tombs.
That's right.
That's it. Only the Pope of Patronage can be on there.
That's it. It was very interesting. I'm not sure how much we got into last week about that meeting that happened at the...
We didn't get really deep.
We didn't get really deep. And then after our show, the mayor went on We Suck at Radio. And the mayor said on WSAR, We Suck at Radio, that the only thing going into the Flint was market rate, mixed use and market rate housing. Now, what did people say they wanted there?
Affordable housing.
That's what they said.
Affordable housing.
And the mayor wanted this meeting so that he could hear what the people wanted.
No, he just wanted to.
It was a show. It was a
yeah,
dog and pony show.
It was a dog and pony, exactly.
A dog and pony show.
Yeah, we know, and let's look at it this way. He also alluded to the fact that these people are going to get, they're going to foreclose on these properties. They're going to get them for a deal. Then they're going to probably give them a TIF. Then they're going to probably get low-interest loans to rehab the property. And they're going to get everything handed to the rich guys that are going to make market rate housing. And who knows, they'll probably just roll those properties over, sell them to people who administer properties, or they'll keep them and try to make rents, and then they'll write them off if it doesn't work.
Right.
Nobody really cares. But the fact is, do you think if you really cared about the Flint and the people of the Flint as was characterized at that meeting, we care about your close-knit community. We really care about this. You think they would give those properties to people who are going to develop affordable housing? Say, look, we're going to give you a good price on these things because they've been foreclosed on. We're going to help you as much as we can. No, help the rich guys that don't need help.
And you know what's interesting?
That's what disturbs me. Frankly, that's what disturbs me. I'm sorry.
No, that disturbs me as well. And what's very interesting is, for affordable housing, there's money available.
I know.
There's CDA money for affordable housing, which it infuriates me when CDA gives money to these developers so they can get 3 apartments affordable out of 72 or 102.
Yeah, it should be just the reverse.
Exactly.
There should be 3 market rate housing and 72 affordable housing.
Exactly.
Units.
That's my opinion too. But there is that, and then of course we have the lovely CPA tax, which has money set aside in its account for affordable housing.
Yeah.
Nobody's touching that, are they?
Yeah, but they can pay for air conditioners in libraries.
That's right,
for
they can pay
connected
for air
people
conditioning,
and things like that. But we're not going to do anything to help the poor people.
That's right.
The problem is, and you know and I know, CJ, the problem is that the richies, the guys that he deals with, his circle, they want maximum money. They're not going to make maximum money with affordable housing. They're going to try to make it. They're going to make it big, or they're going to fold up their tent and just leave because they'll write it off as a, you get these big-time developers. These people think they're not invested in the community. As much as he tries to say, oh, these developers are so wonderful, they're going to help Fall River. That's BS. We've seen developers come and go. We've seen developers develop, not make money, and just walk away. I fought hundreds of fires in this city for property that was let derelict by developers in the old days. We had people that come in. We went through this dance before. This is not something new. We've had this before. We've had people develop housing units throughout the city. As a matter of fact, if you drive down Rodman Street and look at the Stop and Shop, if you look south, that thing, there was 4 city blocks of multi-unit apartments there that we fought fires every single night for 2 or 3 years. They torched them because they were totally empty. Totally empty. And there was a whole bunch down the north end. We look at what happened. Does this stuff work? No, not in cities like this. You have to deal, as we said, with the jobs, economy, because look at, they were trying to sell houses in Detroit for $1.
And they couldn't do it.
And they couldn't do it. The problem is, this city is not Newton. We need to work on affordable housing, keep the people here, because they got nowhere else to go, not push them out into the street. I just saw a thing this morning on San Francisco. What a disaster. I mean, it's out of control. But the government doesn't care because they just throw money. They said it cost them $60,000 a year for a tent to keep those people in the Tenderloin district. This is nuts. And, that meeting was, like I said, and I'm not blaming the people. Those people, that's what they do. They develop. It's a cookie cutter development.
Right.
It's like, but we've been sold a bill of goods. We sold a bill of goods about Durfee, debt override, 115. Now we still can't get a number. We were sold a bill of goods on the charter. It was going to be revised, not scrapped. Now we're being sold a bill of goods about this. We feel your pain. We want to hear what you got to say, but we really don't care.
Right. Right. We don't care. And that's the problem. And you know how you said that developers don't want to create affordable housing? That's not totally true. Peabody Properties has created thousands of affordable housing units, and they're making money.
Yeah, but let me revise that. You can go on. I know that. But the problem is, those are not the developers that historically come to Fall River.
That's right.
Because the powers to be, whether it's this mayor or any other mayor, they do not look for that type of developer. They look for the developer, because at first they were running that con that if we bring in a whole bunch of market rate housing, that we're going to gentrify Fall River, push all the people that are just a nuisance to them out of the city. Like, where are they going to go? And this is going to fix the city. Well, it never fixed the city. Like I said, I saw tons of units that were left ultimately because they write it off. These big-time developers write these things off as a loss.
Right.
And they move on to the next thing.
But one of the things that makes me very interested is, where the hell are they going to park in the Flint? Market rate housing, okay? People expect to have a parking spot, don't they?
They're supposed to.
I'm paying $1,200, $1,500, $1,800 a month for an apartment. Shouldn't I get I don't want to be parked on the street, where now they want to put parking meters back on Pleasant Street. So think about that too. Because the one thing that shot down the businesses on Pleasant Street were the parking meters. Mm-hmm. When they got rid of them, businesses started to open. Not a lot, but a few businesses started to open again. So maybe they need to look at that before they start saying we're going to put meters back on Pleasant Street.
Yeah, but not only that, CD. Look, we know that, like I said, they love to make you fixate on a tree,
right?
Not look at the forest. As we said at the meeting, this is a multifaceted issue, and one of the issues is crime, education, which will prevent most of these affluent people from coming to Fall River, because those are the two things they look at first: educational system. It couldn't crack the top 200. Crime, number one in the state. Pleasant Street, where are they going to park? On Cash? They're going to designate parking places there, and then they're going to have their cars broken into. You're going to come to Market Red. That's why people won't come here. You're going to come here, park your car on Pleasant Street. You come out the next day, somebody broke into your car.
Oh, you don't have tires.
and you don't have any. You don't have anything because they're rifling through looking for money.
Right.
And these are all issues. Like I said, nobody's being. Look, I would love to see the streets fixed, the buildings revamped. But it's not going to last without addressing the real core issues, which are lack of people with money to keep businesses open, to keep this thing viable like it was when people did work in the mills. That's the problem. When the mills left, they didn't re-educate the workforce, and the city began to deteriorate, and this is the end result. And I'm not saying it's not a good idea. We've got to try. But we can't try by just fixing up the buildings, because as we saw, after spending $263 million, now I got it right, because the diamond was, but it doesn't matter. We'll end up spending $290 anyway at the end.
Oh, of course we will.
With the overruns. But the reality is, we found out that didn't instantaneously change the educational level. We couldn't break the top 200. Buildings do not educate children, and nice storefronts do not keep businesses in business. Paying customers do.
That's right. That's right. And what's very interesting is, if you remember the map that they had put out at the meeting, 5 buildings, 5 properties were in red. That goes to the old red line district. Remember that?
Yep.
That are illegal. But there were 5 properties highlighted in red. And amazingly, the mayor was talking about 5 properties that he wants market rate housing in.
And those are the ones that were
Those are
designated.
going to be the ones, exactly. And they talked about tax title. They're going to take the properties by tax title, and then they'll sell them off.
Roll them over.
Right, and they won't roll them over for what they're worth. They'll roll them over for the dirt cheap money for their friends. Just like King Philip Mill, $5,000. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. That property was worth a hell of a lot more than that. That's waterfront property.
Yeah.
Okay? Pleasant Street properties are worth more than what they're going to sell them for. I'm almost positive. And the thing is that these developers know, because they meet with the mayors, they meet with the tax attorneys, and they say, well, Fall River's going to auction that property off, which we're required to do. And then you can buy it at auction, and we'll keep it down between 5,000 and 10,000. But the kicker on this is the redevelopment authority is involved in this whole process. And if they take the properties by tax title, or the city transfers them over to the redevelopment authority by tax title, we have no say in how much we get. The redevelopment authority says how much they get for that property.
Wow, what a surprise.
And who was there? Members of the redevelopment authority.
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing? So when you start putting the puzzle together, you start seeing the big black and white message of the skull and crossbones. Okay? And it's a flag flying over the Flint.
The pirates are coming.
That's right. The Jolly Roger is there,
Right.
and let me tell you something. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When I called the mayor of the Flint, the neighborhood association president, Flint Neighborhood Association President Carlos Souza, and told him what the mayor said on the air, he was livid. He was livid. What was the sense of the meeting? What's the sense of him being on the committee? Because he's on the committee for this. And you saw the names on those committees.
Yeah.
They were all high up people. And there was a committee which is just sits there of citizens and neighborhood leaders, stakeholders, and they don't have a say in anything.
This is all, it's all window dressing.
Of course it is.
We have an HR department. Did that job, that new job that's going to be coming, was that? They've already got somebody hired.
Right.
As he said, before the job was even confirmed. Yeah, it went down. He's talking about it, but that's the narrowest reorganization I have ever seen. They're going to reorganize that one job, not the. At least Viveris did it right. He reorganized everything supposedly. He had fire department, police department. Every department had the Coopers and Library Studies sent in a report on what you could do to make these departments. They weren't right in a lot of cases, but they did do an exhaustive study on everything in the city. Everything. This guy wants to give his pal a job. He reorganizes one job. Big reorganization for one job, and then he's going to come out and say, this is going to make the city really much better because we got a guy that overall in charge that doesn't know anything. That's like putting somebody in charge of that's like putting me in charge of a kitchen. I don't cook. they could do anything in that kitchen and convince me it's the right thing to do, because I have no idea how to cook. Never did, never will. Have no interest in it. That's why they created restaurants, in my opinion.
Unless it's MREs, you have no idea what to do with it, right?
That's right, yeah. Unless it was. My era was C rations. They didn't have MREs when I was there.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, if it's not microwavable, or you can't put it in a toaster oven, I don't do it. You know, I mean,
boil and bag dinner, right?
That's it. That's it. But I mean, you know, isn't it amazing that, I mean, how obvious? You know, that's another one. We have to anoint him Captain Obvious. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is such an obvious, you know, deal to get a friend get somebody a job that's connected. Now, he comes in, he has an interview, they're talking salary, the job isn't even through the council yet, and then he's going to get this job while there are people who have worked in DCM for 20-some years that are more qualified, have more degrees. What I've been told, as I said, it's alleged, and I'll make sense, it's alleged that there is individuals in there with master's degrees. He doesn't have them. He works in New Bedford. He's going to come over to a department that now is going to be kind of semi-chaotic because, you know, you lost the head of the department, so you're going to have to reorganize. So you're going to reorganize a department that you have no idea how it runs. So how are you going to do that? You're going to let the people who are there do it and then collect your paycheck.
Right.
Because you can't reorganize a department that you know nothing about. Just hit the ground running. Let's not hire somebody from the department that's qualified to hit the ground running and knows exactly what needs to be done, because they were probably sitting there saying we could do it better this way, we could do it better that way. Now you're going to drag somebody in from New Bedford, give him a nice pay raise, more than he's making in New Bedford, create a job for him, call it a reorganization, pat yourself on the back, because look at this, I'm making the city more efficient. No, you're not. You're doing what you do in the school department. You're hiring more people to do the same job. We got 5 people screwing on a light bulb. Let's hire 5 more. Let's make 10 people to screw on a light bulb. Maybe we'll have a new organization, and we'll have a dean of city employees.
There you go. There you go.
Jesus, I'm sorry I said that now. It gave him an idea.
You gave him an idea.
But
smack.
Silly me.
Silly you. I'm telling you now, this is just, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Keep your eyes open today, because there's going to be a lot of announcements made by Government Center, and there'll be a lot of announcements coming out of the mayor's office. And, of course, there'll be a lot of announcements coming off on our Facebook pages. Yeah. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
And remember, everybody is entitled to due process, so let's not jump the gun on this.